Hello.
Long distance for Scott Campbell.
This is Scott Campbell.
One moment, please.
Scotty. This is Joe. Joe Schiller. How you been?
Well, fine, Joe, fine.
How's Nancy?
She's fine. She's in bed.
Oh, I guess I got you up, huh? Well, I was going to call you tomorrow, but I have to go out of town. I'll get right to the point, Scotty. Would you be free to do a job for me right away?
Maybe. What kind of a job?
Well, it's sort of a survey, but it could lead to something. You know the Rochester Castle up in the hills off the Coast Highway?
I've read about it and never actually seen it.
Not many people have. Anyway, my firm represents the Rochester estate. Now, the castle's been on a lease for about 10 years now. The lease has run out, so they've got a white elephant on their hands. They want an architect to go up there and make a survey. Condition of structure, possibility of conversion or remodeling, maybe demolition.
When would they want me to start?
You and Nancy drive up to the castle tomorrow. You should be able to get there by late afternoon. Now, there's a little real estate office about 2 miles from the turnoff run by a guy named Quimby. Get the keys from him. And you'll probably be better off staying at the castle. It's quite a ways to a motel. I'll be out of town all day tomorrow, but Loy and I'll drive up and join you on Saturday. Hey, that's right. You haven't met Loy, have you?
No.
Well, good. We'll have a celebration.
Thanks. I just had one. Today's our anniversary, you know.
Congratulations. So, we got a deal?
We got a deal, Joe. And thanks.
What are friends for? See you Saturday. Good night, Scott.
Good night. You can come out now. I answered it.
Who was it?
Joe Schiller.
Joe Schiller? What's he doing here?
He's not here. He's in Los Angeles. Just called to wish you a happy anniversary.
I'll bet. That's kind of funny, isn't it? I mean, we haven't seen him since we got married.
Must be that fine legal mind of his. That's not why he really called. He offered us a job.
What kind of a job?
It's an architectural survey of a place up the coast. No pile. Called the Rochester Castle.
You mean the one that crazy heiress built?
Uh-huh. Actually, it's more early Hollywood Spanish than a castle. But she was supposed to have built some dungeons down in the basement or something.
What do they expect to do with it?
That's what they want us to find out. And Joe asked us to drive up tomorrow.
Tomorrow? You mean like in a couple of hours?
Pretty long drive, huh?
Oh, we'll never make it. Night, Frank Lloyd Campbell.
Well, it doesn't look quite the same, but I'm sure this is a road that leads up to the place. If I could just see the lake, I'd know.
Even if it is, we don't have the keys to get in. Now, I don't want to be a spoil sport, Scotty, but why don't we go back and find the real estate office first?
We didn't pass it on the way up, so it must be north of here. About 2 miles, Joe said. Let's take a ride up this road and see if I'm right, huh? Well, come on. Where's your spirit of adventure?
It's not my spirit of adventure I'm worried about. It's your sense of direction.
Live dangerously, huh? Sure this is a place. I think we'd better walk up there.
Say the lease had just run out. Doesn't look like anyone's lived around here for years.
All I know is what Joe told me, honey. Let's have a look. There's the lake. This has to be it.
How did you know there was a lake, Scott? Have you ever been up here before?
No, but there were pictures in the paper when they put old Priscilla Rochester away.
What had she done?
Never really came out, honey. Family declared her incompetent and put away, and then they cleaned up whatever was going on before anyone could check it.
They must be quite a family. Onward and upward, Mr. Campbell.
Why would anyone build a thing like that in this godforsaken spot? Locked.
Is that the only door in?
As far as I know. There's supposed to be an elevator in here that goes to the top. And that's the only road in. She built this thing like a fortress.
What's in there?
Can't see a thing. Well, I guess we better go back and find that real estate office.
Funny thing, airline hostesses, department store buyers, secretaries, they look all pretty much the same when you come right down to it. Now, what can I do for you folks?
I'm Scott Campbell, and this is Mrs. Campbell.
Oh, of course, of course. Mr. Schiller called about you. I'm Mr. Quimby. Come on, sit down, won't you? Now, suppose you came by for the keys to the Rochester place?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you got here during daylight, because it gets a little spooky up there at night if you don't know the way. Mr. Schiller said that you might be staying up there.
That's right.
Well, there's a store a little ways down the road, and you can get groceries there. Gas and lights still on. No phone, though. Of course, you're welcome to use mine if you have to make a call.
Thanks very much.
You, don't happen to be superstitious, do you, ma'am?
I don't think so.
You count them. Go ahead, count them.
13.
You see? 50 doors in the place and only 13 keys. Of course, they'll open everything.
Mr. Quimby, I understand someone was leasing the castle.
That's right, for the past 9 years. The lease ran out last month.
Who was it?
Well, there's an old screwball, an old fella named Arbuckle. Captain Sam Arbuckle, he calls himself. Understand he made his money in tent shows. He retired up there.
Well, why'd he leave?
Search me. Haven't seen much of him lately. Never did see much of him. The last 2 months of the lease, he paid in advance. And he just up and walked away from it. Didn't even turn in his keys. That's duplicate set you got there.
Didn't anyone ever try to find him?
What for? The captain wanted his privacy, the same as old Priscilla.
Well,
We better get going. Thanks for the keys.
Glad to oblige. Anything I can do for you, just let me know.
You don't happen to have a picture of Priscilla Rochester, do you? After what Scott told me, I just wondered what she looked like.
Well, if I had one, Mrs. Campbell, I'd be happy to show it to you. As far as I know, there are no pictures of Priscilla Rochester. See, the last time I saw her was about 4 years ago.
Well, I thought they had put her away.
Well, they did, but she got out a few times. Those fancy rest homes are not exactly Alcatraz, you know.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Mr. Quinby.
You're welcome.
Scott, you just moved it an hour ago. Somebody put it back.
Let's take a look at the place first. I'll bring the stuff up later. This is going to be a real guessing game.
You don't have to be polite. I'll follow you.
Well, come into my parlor.
Scotty, isn't this really something?
If you like early Dracula.
I wonder what's up here.
I don't know. Let's find the elevator, huh?
Don't you want to try the stairs?
Tomorrow, Ann. It's getting late.
Even our own elevator.
Ours?
Well, there's nobody else here. Come on. Isn't that terrific? Wouldn't children love?
I don't imagine there's ever been a child in this house. Shall we have a look?
Do you hear what I hear?
Sounds like we have company.
Oh, the poor thing must be half starved.
He looks pretty well fed to me.
Oh, Scotty.
Okay, bring it along. There's some milk in the car.
Some
many beautiful things from all over the world.
Yeah. You know, there's supposed to be a warehouse full of stuff they took out of here somewhere in L.A. that hasn't been sold off.
Hey, what time is it?
About dinner time. You hungry?
I'm just beginning to get interested after last night.
Well, why don't you wait here and I'll see if a key on here will unlock a bedroom we can use, and then we'll go down and get our things.
Okay. Don't be long now. Scott? Scotty, where are you?
Here I am, honey. Come here. I want to show you something. What do you think of it?
It's like something out of Dickens.
Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. And how do you like this? I thought we could make it our headquarters while we're here. Office, home, dining room, bedroom, all in one. I can set my board up over here.
It's very cozy.
We better get to bed before you fall asleep. You awake?
Mm-hmm.
Up we go.
I'm not asleep.
We'll prove it. Care for one more day after our anniversary toast?
I'm for bed. If you drop that, the estate will sue. Scott, one of the statues fell on the patio while I was upstairs.
The break?
All over. It's a mess.
Don't worry about it. We'll clean it up in the morning. Now, which bed do you want?
Scotty?
What is it? What's the matter?
The door. It moved.
You stay here. The lights are off.
Scotty, don't go out there.
Can't see a thing. No, it's probably just a fuse. I'll throw another log on the fire. That'll do us for tonight.
Scotty, I think we ought to lock the doors. I'll get the keys.
I'll do it as soon as I fix the fire.
No, I'll get them.
Fine watchdog you are.
Scott?
The keys are gone.
Honey, they weren't in the kitchen. I couldn't find them anywhere.
Well, we're gonna look like darn fools, but I think we better go see if old Quimby's got another set.
He said the ones he gave us were the duplicates.
I know, but what else can we do?
You don't suppose the police would help?
Honey, I'm not about to go tell the police I think someone snuck in my bedroom and took a bunch of keys. I have a lot of trouble with kids breaking into old places like this. They said anything, they just say it was a bunch of teenagers.
Under the circumstances, I don't imagine the Rochester family would like the police prying around here anyway.
That you can say again. They have their own police, literally. Oh, well, I think we'll get you a sweater and go see Quimby.
Honey, I can get it. Do you need anything?
No.
Scotty?
Where'd you find them?
On the floor under the night table.
Do you suppose they could have been there all the time?
Oh, Scotty, you know they weren't. You looked yourself.
It wouldn't be the first time I missed something right under my nose. Huh?
Well, I doubt you could miss a ring of keys like that.
Okay, then. While we were out on the patio, somebody or something walked in here and put them back. Is that what you want me to say? What's the matter?
Scotty, count them.
That's old man Quinby's line.
Count them. $11. There were 13 when Mr. Quimby gave them to me. You saw me count.
Well, this is probably just some sort of prank, honey. Some joke. But if there is any danger, I don't want you to stay here.
What about the survey?
It'll keep. We can come back later.
What if we can't? What if they get somebody else?
Well, then, we've lost the job, that's all.
Well, I think we ought to stay at least until Joe gets here. Oh, honey, we've waited too long for a chance like this. The Rochesters are the most creative builders in California. You could have a ball designing for them.
Yeah, we could have a ball.
You said it, I didn't. Should we get our tape and start measuring?
All right, but I want to try something first. There are 2 keys missing off here. Let's find out which 2 rooms someone doesn't want us to see, huh? We found one of them.
Are you sure you tried all of the keys?
One place down here we haven't tried yet.
What now?
Hello. You're Scott Campbell?
Yes.
Where's Joe? How do you do? Where's Joe? Isn't he here?
Oh, you're Mrs. Schiller. I thought you and Joe were coming together.
So did I. You haven't seen him then?
No. Oh, excuse me. This is my wife, Nancy.
Oh, how do you do again? I'm Lois Schiller, Joe's wife.
How do you do? Would you like to take your things upstairs?
I don't know if Joe isn't here.
Oh, he'll be right along. He said he had to go out of town on business.
Yes, that's what he told me also.
Well?
Thank you. Isn't this nice? Just like being home. Almost.
Well, we like the fireplace, and it is big enough for Scotty's things, so.
Oh, I forgot. You're the, architect, no?
Yes.
Am I keeping you from working? Sorry.
Oh, no need to be. We're just going to do a little measuring. Haven't even started yet.
You help him with this?
Well, let's just say I hold one end of the tape.
Must be nice working with your husband.
Well, you'll have to ask him that.
Oh, I don't have to. Not you two. Go do your measuring. Is this your cat?
No, she comes with the house. Perhaps I should find you another room if you're staying.
I don't know if we're staying. You'll have to ask Joe.
Well, we'll be close by if you need anything.
Thank you.
Sounds like Joe needs a marriage counselor more than he needs an architect.
Well, all he's got here is an architect. I'm keeping my nose out of it.
Where do you suppose he is?
I was wondering that myself. Six feet, 11 inches. Let's get this one.
Well, hello down there.
Hi.
Oh, I borrowed a towel. I hope it's all right.
Of course.
I decided to sunbathe while you're working.
Well, if I'd known you were coming, I'd have arranged for a swimming pool.
To tell you the truth, I swim on the bottom. How do you say, like a rock?
I don't imagine you get too many complaints.
Thank you.
Well, there's a Chase Lounge right on the patio.
Let's leave the Bournade to Washington,
Can I fix you some lunch?
Oh, thank you. It's late. I won't have lunch today. So it won't be, how do you say, like a barn door.
I think I'll diet with you.
You know, America's the only place where people worry about eating too much instead of not enough.
Well, now that lunch is over, we might as well get back to work, hadn't we? Six feet, 4 1/2 inches.
Oh. If I do much more bending, my knees are gonna give out.
Just one more measurement, honey, and then we'll have the floor done.
Are you finished? It's getting cold. I think I'll change. What are you doing with all those numbers?
Well, you see, before I can make my survey, I have to make a floor plan of each level.
Oh, you draw that on the board downstairs?
Later on.
You haven't seen Joe yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Somebody's going to catch it.
Just think, you might marry me.
Oh, not really, lover. I just wanted some people I know to think that.
Touché. And on that note, I think I'll fix us some drinks.
Oh. We never did finish the other measurement.
Let's save the knees, shall we?
We didn't find that other room either. Well, there were 2 keys missing, remember?
Honey, by the time we finish this measuring, we'll find it, don't worry. Now, you ready for that drink?
I guess so. Oh. Oh, it's you. You made me jump.
Hello, Nancy.
Well, Joe, how are you?
Fine, Scotty. Good to see you.
We've been waiting for you. How did you get in?
Well, the downstairs door was open.
Look, why don't you two go ahead and sit down? I was just going to get some drinks.
Good, I could use a drink. Where's Loy? I saw her car outside.
Oh, she went down to our room to change. She's been waiting for you, too.
Yes, I know. I was supposed to pick her up, but she'd already left.
Well, perhaps she misunderstood.
Was she all right? I mean, how did she feel?
She seemed very nice to me. She's been sunbathing most of the afternoon.
Well, it's getting dark. What do you say we turn on some lights?
Oh,
What's the matter?
well, the lights went out last night. Scotty was going to fix them.
Oh? Looks like he already did.
Well, he couldn't have. I've been with him all day.
Anniversary wine.
Oh, fine.
Scott, did you fix the lights?
Lights? No. Why? Oh, it must have been a power failure. Well, let's sit down and have some wine in the country.
I've got a couple of jugs in the car. I'll go down and get them later.
Good.
It must have been kind of spooky around here last night without any lights.
Well, there have been a lot of little spooky things around here, Joe. I want to talk to you about them.
Well, here's to crime.
Well, to old acquaintance.
I'll drink to that.
How very nice. Old school friends?
You, want to explain where you've been? I told you I'd pick you up.
You're so polite, Joe. Such a gentleman.
I ask you a question.
You're very good at asking questions. Always the little lawyer in the courtroom.
Sit down, Loy.
I will not sit down. You tell me you go to Santa Barbara. So I call your room.
Loy, I told you...
I call your room, and who answers? I tell you who answers. A girl. Some kind of a girl.
Loy, sit down. Let's talk this.
I will not sit down.
Loy. I'm sorry.
Joe, do you want me to go down and talk?
No, thanks, Nancy. She's like a Roman candle. I'll do it later. You know, she's right in a way. There was a woman in the room. An ex-girlfriend of one of our senior partners who'd like to be single again. You see, our firm doesn't like divorce cases, so I was asked to handle it quietly.
Well, I don't see anything so wrong with that.
The last one was pretty messy. I promised Loy I wouldn't take any more.
You didn't have to do it, did you?
No. But let's face it, that's one way junior partners eventually become senior partners.
You run down and talk to her.
Because that's just what she wants me to do. I'll get her. If she'd gone, we'd have heard her car.
You're 6 stories high, Joe. You can't hear anything up here.
Well, why don't you come along, then? Maybe it'll help. It's locked. I must have snapped something when I came in.
Well, if it's locked, how would Loy get out?
Well, she slammed it. Probably locked by itself.
Well, if I know her, she slammed it all right. Well, her car's still here. She must be in a house somewhere. If she found the door locked, she must have gone up the stairs. Where do they lead?
Just up to the top floor.
Well, back where we started from.
Scott, I'm worried.
Loy's angry with me. She's probably just trying to get even. She does things like that.
No, Joe. There's been something wrong here ever since we got to this place. Who put the barricade back up? Who took the keys? Why the locked room upstairs? I say let's get the police up here and open that door.
No, now, wait a minute, Scotty. The Rochesters spent a fortune trying to keep the police out of here. You realize what darn fools we'd look like if Loy should walk into the living room and say surprise?
Mm-hmm. And what about the locked room?
Well, what about it? It's probably empty. But if we call the police in, the whole thing will be reported. I'd like to try explaining that one at the office Monday morning.
Joe.
Scotty, it's all right for you to play independent. You've probably got a dozen architectural jobs waiting for you if you blow this one. But I'm committed.
Joe, you know I don't. But I'm telling you there's something wrong around here, whether Loy's playing hide and seek with you or not. Let's start with the old man, Captain, what's his name? Arbuckle. What do you know about him?
Well, not very much. He was supposed to be a colorful old character, liked his privacy.
I don't understand why nobody's ever looked for him.
Why should they? He paid his rent. He left the place in good order.
How do you know he left?
Well,
and what about the old lady, Joe? Priscilla Rochester.
You don't have to worry about her. They've got her locked up.
But Mr. Quimby said she'd escaped before and that she came here.
All right. Now, what do you want me to do?
Look, Joe, I know how you feel about publicity. I don't want it any more than you do. But if we can't call the police, I think we ought to start investigating the various possibilities ourselves. And for a starter, I'd like to call the sanitarium and see if our Priscilla Rochester is still all present and accounted for.
Well, I suppose a smart thing for us to do would be to leave. We can't very well do that until we find Loy. Oh, they wouldn't talk to you at the sanitarium. You want me to do it?
There's no phone here, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I can run down to the real estate office and use Quimby's.
I wish you would, Joe.
Well, I guess the least I can do is try to keep peace in your family.
Oh, incidentally, Joe, still a secret what the old lady did to make him put her away?
That's still a secret. But there's no harm in telling you, I suppose. She killed a man. With a shotgun, she kept to scare off trespassers.
Who was it?
I don't know, some man who wandered up here, some bum nobody ever heard of. He never was identified because she blasted his head off. Operator, could you get me the number of the Brady Sanitarium in Dejure? Thank you. Yes? 172. Thank you. Oh, could you get the number for me? If you would, please.
You think the old lady flew the coop again, eh?
Brady Sanitarium. Well, who are you? I see. Well, you don't have to worry, Mr. Schiller. I checked her myself less than an hour ago.
Well, I wish you'd check her again, nurse. It's quite important. I know that, but these aren't the customary conditions. I don't want to have to send someone out there at this time of night.
All right, Mr. Schiller. If that's what you want, I'll be right back.
Going to have a look. I'd like to keep this between you and me. If she's there, and I'm sure she is, there's no need for anyone to know about this call.
Oh, I get you, Mr. Schiller. You don't have to worry about me.
You spying! Ah! Always spying!
she's doing.
You don't have a thing to worry about, Mr. Schiller. Miss Rochester is in her room, in bed.
I see. You're absolutely sure?
Good night.
Did you hear something? Oh, Joe must be back. Front door's locked.
Scotty, what are you going to tell him?
What can I tell him? We've almost searched the whole house, but haven't found him.
He seems to be taking it rather calmly so far.
Yeah. Well, maybe he found out something.
I'll wait here. I'd rather you told him.
All right. But you stay put.
Okay.
Did you find Loy?
Nope.
I checked with the sanitarium. The old lady's in bed in her room. What the devil could have happened to Loy? She must be in the house somewhere.
Nancy and I have been looking ever since you left, Joe. It's not a sign. Let's get back. I don't want to leave her alone.
Honey, what's the matter? What happened to you?
Lloyd.
Did you see her? Where'd you see her? Honey, tell me where you saw Loy.
In the last room at the end of the hall.
Is this the door? Are you sure that's the room? There's nothing in there. It's empty.
Honey. Honey. Are you sure you didn't make a mistake?
Nancy, how did you see Loy? I mean, what was she doing?
I don't know. I thought I did. But I just don't know.
That's all right. All right. Here, sit down. Give her a few minutes, Joe, and then we'll find out what it's about.
Oh, Scott, did you check all the rooms?
Yeah.
What about the one upstairs? The one that was locked?
Not that one. Still can't get in.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you say you and I have a look before we call the cops? I've already kicked in one door tonight. One more won't hurt.
All right. Honey, come here. Come on. Honey, I want you to lie down till we get back. And I want you to lock the door from the inside with this key and leave the key in the lock, okay? We won't be more than a couple minutes.
Scott, what do you suppose?
I don't know, Joe. Let's get up and get it over with. I want to get her out of here. How's your shoulder?
All set. Scott.
My God. Must be the old man, Captain Arbuckle.
Murdered in bed.
There's nothing we can do, son. Let's go.
Scott. Do you suppose Loy's?
The police will find her, Joe. Now, come on. Nancy, it's me, Scott. Unlock the door. Come on, honey. We're gonna go to the police. We just found the old captain upstairs. He's dead.
You two go ahead. I'm gonna keep looking for Loy.
All right. We'll be right back. I'd feel a lot better if you had a gun.
Lawyers don't carry guns. Their clients do.
Key.
What?
Honey, we have one more place to look. Get Joe for me, huh?
Oh, Scotty, I don't...
Look, nothing's going to happen to me. Now, please, get Joe. I think I know where Loy is. Come on.
That's enough. Leave him alone. It's all right. Go now.
Well, you're all,
You can say it, Mr. Campbell. Freaks.
No, I was going to say carnival people. Captain Arbuckle owned a carnival.
A circus. A small one, but it was a circus.
You mean he hid you here when he retired?
I was his housekeeper, cook. We took the others in when they needed help, but we never let anyone know because of his lease. You can come down now.
Oh, Scotty.
What have you done with my wife?
We haven't done anything with your wife, Mr. Schiller. That's why you're here. He'll show you.
But you must be lying. I saw her.
What you saw was a combination of two old sideshow illusions. The locked room and the headless woman. The captain has others stored down here. A mermaid, a spider girl. It's all done with mirrors. You've probably seen them dozens of times.
What have you done to her?
Just a sleeping pill. She's very excitable.
Is that the way you killed Captain Arbuckle?
Mr. Schiller, the captain was the only friend we had. We didn't kill him. He died one night in his bed, peacefully. As you can see, it isn't easy for us. The captain took us in many years ago when the sideshows began to break up. When he died, we just locked the door. We didn't know what else to do.
Well, you could have called a doctor.
You didn't explain to them. We had nowhere to go.
We needed time to think, to plan. When you came, we hoped to scare you away.
Where will you go?
Can we go?
The police will probably want to ask you a few questions.
What will they do to us?
Well, under the circumstances, I don't imagine anything.
As far as we're concerned, you can go.
Come along. It's time for us to leave.
Where will we go?
We'll have to find a carnival again. It won't be so bad.
The faces.
Oh, come along, come along. We've all been looked at before.